This video is going to be a little bit different to the ones that you've seen so far. If this isn't for you, fair enough, I'll see you in the next video. But if this is for you, then I hope that it helps some of you, because I wish I had a video like this myself. Basically, this is going to be about how I lost my period for a year and how I got it back. I'm sorry if this video is all over the place. If you just watch it all, I'm sure I'll cover everything. So grab yourself a drink, get some snacks, because I don't know how long this video is going to be. Also asked you guys to ask me some questions over on Instagram, so I'll answer them at the end of the video. But fingers crossed we'll cover as much as we can. Okay, so I feel like we should obviously start at the beginning. I lost my period the 13th of January 2019 and I lost it for a year. I didn't have it at all. Before we go any further, I just want to say I was not on the pill. I never have been on the pill or any form of contraception. So that wasn't the reason why I wasn't having a period. So I had hypothalamic amenorrhea, which basically means that you lose your menstrual cycle, and it's due to a lack of hormones being produced by the brain. I mean, don't quote me, you can absolutely Google it or speak to a specialist. Also start off by saying my periods have always been irregular. I'm talking 16-day cycle, 24-day cycle, 60-day cycle, 50-day cycle, 13-day cycle, all over the place. And when I went to the doctors, they would just say, oh, you know, a 28-day cycle is kind of normal for women, but if you're not having that, don't worry, there's a lot of leeway, you just might not be that sort of normal. I was like, oh, fine. So I never took my irregular periods as anything to worry about. I've always been used to having irregular periods. That literally didn't faze me at all. But then in my second year of university, I lost my period in the January. Now, I had just lost my grandparent. I was extremely stressed with loads of coursework and deadlines at uni. So I just put it down to that. I didn't think it was due to anything else. I just thought it was stress. I'd watched people like Sarah's Day on YouTube before, and she had said being really stressed can cause you to lose your period and all these things. So I just put it down to that. I was like, it'll come back after university. Then I did my second year exams at university. All the coursework was done. All the exams were out the way. And I was like, right, this summer I'm going to get my period back. Don't even need to think about it. Don't even need to worry about it. And it didn't come back. And then after summer, so the September, I did start to get a little bit worried. I was like, this actually isn't normal. The fact that I was having periods and now that I'm not, and all that, like, the doctors are just saying it's fine. Like, is it fine? I totally understand why people get stressed about not having a period. Like, we as women have periods so we can make a baby. You know what I mean? So I brought it up on Instagram, and I'd already brought it up on Instagram, but this time I had a comment. I had a comment off a lovely Instagrammer called Victoria Spence. This lovely lady here, and she tagged this person called Renee McGregor. She is a period specialist. She just said, you know, contact her, she's amazing, or watch her videos. So I contacted her, and she basically said that she'd love to help me, and I was literally over the moon. So I paid her for a consultation. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say, I'd been to the doctors. Prior to this, I'd had scans on my ovaries, I'd had blood tests and weighed, everything, and they said that everything was fine and not to worry about anything. So the first thing Renee said to me was, can I see your most recent blood tests? I said, yeah, absolutely. So I gave them to her, and she looked at them and she said, the doctor said that this was fine, Emily. And I said, yep. And she said, straight away, I can see that your hormones, let me get the exact thing up that she said, one sec. So looking at my results, she found that my estrogen levels were super duper low, and that was literally obvious why I wasn't having a period. So the doctor looked at my estrogen levels and just said that was normal, but they were far from normal. So that's the first thing she picked up straight away. My hormones were just all out of whack. She also found that my thyroid was the lowest level of normal. So basically my metabolism was slowing down, and it was because my metabolism was slowing down to try and conserve all the energy that I had, because basically I wasn't fueling myself enough. If you're not fueling yourself enough, your body sort of goes into, I guess, survival mode and tries to conserve all your energy. And one of the things that it could do is stop your period. After looking at my blood tests and doing a diary log, a food diary, exercise diary, it was like really, really clear to Renee that I wasn't fueling myself properly. To me, I was quite shocked at that. I thought, like, I'd always been a big eater, I'm a massive foodie, I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and I thought that was enough. What it was, I wasn't really fueling myself enough around my training, because I love to go to the gym, I love to train. This is what I would do before, when I didn't have a period, when I lost it. I would probably wake up, go to the gym fasted for no other reason than I just don't want to throw up my porridge while I'm doing my burpees. So I'd go to the gym fasted, do my workout. So after my workout, I'd always have, say, 50 grams of oats, a bit of protein powder, some blueberries, and that is probably what I would have. But that wasn't enough. It was like really clear to Renee that I needed a lot more carbs before and after my workout. I needed those calories before my workout so that my body wasn't stressed working out thinking, what the hell are we running off here? After my workout, I needed to eat more than what I was eating anyway. So push that 50 grams of oats maybe to 70 grams of oats with a banana and your blueberries and your protein powder, and add some peanut butter. Don't get me wrong, that was a challenge in itself. Someone telling you that you need to eat more than you are when you think you're already eating loads and you're very full and satisfied is quite difficult. And I did put on weight. At university, I was probably the lowest weight I've been in a while, just because. No, I don't really know why, and it just was. But I was quite comfortable where I was. But for someone to tell you you have to gain, not that you have to gain weight, but you have to eat more, and I guess inevitably then you might gain a little bit of weight. It's quite hard to deal with, and I'm a heavier weight now. I'm probably about 7 to 8 pounds heavier than when I didn't have my period. But I guess the extra fat that I've gained has helped me to get my period back, to have that energy. I don't feel tired anymore. Anyway, we'll get into that. I'm skipping forward. It was not just about eating more in order to get my period back. It was focusing when I was going to be eating more. So not just, right, have another bowl of oats in the day at some point. It was when you're training, really look at what you're having. At lunchtime, are you having, Emily, your grilled vegetables with some roasted chickpeas, or are you having your grilled vegetables, roasted chickpeas and some pasta, and then following up with some dark chocolate? Was I doing that originally? No. Am I doing that now? Yes. Another thing me and Renee spoke about was how I would eat throughout the day. So I guess I would have a medium-sized breakfast, a lighter lunch, maybe a snack, and then I would have a massive evening meal and a dessert. So I guess accidentally I was hoarding all of my calories for the evening, and my body was just not okay with that, hence the no period situation. So what I had to do was focus on, like I said, when I was going to be eating, and that's what I do now. I really try and spread everything out and not hoard everything till the end of the day to really satisfy my bodily needs. Okay, so I've got my notes here, so I just want to mention a few changes that I made and I try and still add to my daily life now. So number one, I eat before I work out. I focus on a carb-heavy meal. I don't just have a banana, for example. I have like a banana on a slice of toast. I said to Renee, I said, could I just have a banana then before I work out? She was like, no, Emily, that is not enough. Now remember, Renee's told me all this very specific to me. She knows my height, she knows my weight, she knows how much I train. So I would 110% like recommend, if you wanted real specifics to speak to somebody like Renee, I'll leave all of her details in the description. Anyway, also eat more after I work out. So I told you what I was eating, like the 50 grams of oats, and Renee wanted me to eat more carbs after my workout than I already was. Number three, try and spread my calories out throughout the day. Like I said, I was eating the majority in the evening. Before, ensuring I was eating enough healthy fats. Now this is actually something that I want to touch on. So when I was trying to get my period back, everybody was saying, eat more healthy fats, eat more fat, eat more fat, eat more fat. Oh my gosh, the amount of avocados I went through, did I get it back that when I was just doing that? No. I don't feel like you can just eat a load of healthy fats and get your period back. And for someone who is trying to get their period back, it was so frustrating for people to just be like, eat more fat, you'll get it back. As if it's going to be that simple. It's a mixture of everything, absolutely everything. However, you do need those healthy fats, but you know, that's not the only thing to focus on. There were a few other tweaks that I made, I guess, like sleep and stressing out, or, you know, really focusing on if I was having a really stressed day, do you really need to go to the gym and do something more stressful like a HIIT workout, or would it be more beneficial to do some yoga? I don't know. Okay, so I literally feel like I've missed so much out. I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point. We're gonna now skip to the point where I got my period back. So after doing all of this with Renee, I went in gung-ho. Gung-ho. I was like, right, if I'm doing this, if I'm paying her, I'm going in. On December the 5th, at my work Christmas party, I'm on a placement year, and at the Christmas party, I was not prepared. I came on my period, and I was just like, I I've never been so happy to come on in my whole entire life. I had an inkling that I might, but I didn't think I would. But the one big change that I found by implementing all this and then keeping some of it into my everyday life, like eating before I work out, spreading my calories out throughout the day, has actually changed my periods in general. She hasn't like just got my period back for me, she's actually regulated them. Like, I've never had regular periods in my life, and looking back, I've always been quite a slim woman, lady, girl, and I think naturally my body is happier at a heavier weight because that's when I have it's my most regular period. My first period was a 39-day cycle. My second one was 38. My third one was 35, and then my most recent one, so last month, it was 33-day cycle. I know that might not seem regular to you, but for me, that is extremely regular. And the fact that it's going 39, 38, 35, 33 shows that it's coming back to that more regular 28-day cycle, which is like mind-blowing. That has never happened to me before. I'm sure I will give you a little updated video, see how everything gets on. Just quickly as well, another thing to note is before I spoke to Renee, I did so much Googling, I looked at so many other people, I posted on Instagram and I was getting everyone's advice, and I went to the doctor and the doctor was saying, oh, we'll put you on the pill and then you'll get your period back. And I was like, but that won't be like a natural period. And they were like, no. I was like, well, I want to ovulate, like I actually want to have a proper period. And people were telling me to eat more fats. Look, hen, like I said, you can only eat so many avocados and peanut butter. People were telling me not to do so many stressful workouts in the gym. And I was like, right, okay, I won't do that. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing blimmin' worked. And I understand your frustration if you're watching this video and you're in the same situation that I was in. It's so frustrating. I would strongly recommend you speaking to a specialist or go to your doctor with this information or with information and say like, could it be this? Could it be that? I know that'll probably annoy your doctor, but I totally understand your frustration, but I absolutely have faith in you, and don't be scared to eat a little bit more if you think that's the cause. If you really truly look at your diet and, you know, are you working out on an empty stomach, and do you think that's putting stress on your body? Again, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I promise I will answer every single one, because I know the stress that I went through trying to get it back. And you go through like waves, you're like, oh, I'm worrying about not having a period. Oh, I don't care, it's quite nice not bleeding. Oh, and I'm worried again. Totally get it. Now, what I'm gonna do is answer the questions on Instagram that you guys have asked me. If you don't follow me, it's at _Emily's World. I tend to post like more recipes and more lifestyle stuff over on there if you'd like to go give me a follow. First question is, how do you approach a dietitian for help? Did you just message? So with Renee, like I said, Victoria Spence tagged me on Instagram in one of my posts talking about my period. She tagged Renee and I messaged Renee just explaining my situation, asking if this is something she could help with, or if not, is there a direction she could put me in. And I'm sure if all of you were to message Renee, she would absolutely help you or send you in the right direction or give you a few tips. Just be strong, just be honest and message someone and just go about it and say, hi, I haven't had a period, or I haven't had my menstrual cycle in X amount of time. I'm slightly worried about it. Is there something you can help me with? Etc, etc. The next question, did you have to reduce training as well as increase your intake of calories to get your period back? So this is something that I thought I'd have to do. Like I said, I would stop running, I stopped doing HIIT workouts for a bit. This was before Renee because of everything that I've read online. But when I was working with Renee, it was just about fueling myself properly. But if I was too tired, if I was feeling too stressed, just don't do that workout. Really listen basically to my body. So for me personally, it was more about eating more, fueling myself more. You know, you can absolutely put stress on your body by overtraining. So that is personal to every individual. So someone asked, is getting one-to-one support from a dietitian or specialist expensive? So I believe, I know this is like way off, but I either paid like £150 or £300. But I spoke to my parents and I was like, guys, I'm just going to invest in my health. Like, I'm just going to do it, and it's the best money I've ever spent in my life. And don't get me wrong, I understand that's still expensive, but like I feel like you can't put a price on health and all that. But again, understand it's still expensive, which is another reason why I'm doing this video, to help you guys get a little bit of information, open up a conversation in the comments. But if you can't afford a dietitian, like in the UK, we're very lucky. I don't know where you guys, whoever watches this or where you're from, but if you're from the UK, like the NHS might be able to help. I didn't have a great experience with my doctor. because he wasn't specialised, I guess, in that area, but you could always give that a go. Did you prioritise a specific macro, i.e. carbs, protein, fats more important? I don't think either one of these is more important than the other personally, in a way anyway. Like, you need all of them in your diet, for the majority of us anyway. But for me personally, like I said, before and after I work out, really focusing on those carb-rich, carb-heavy meals, and then implementing some healthy fats, healthy, I hate the word healthy, anyway, implementing those fats throughout the day. And no, I know I keep going on about avocado, but it's not just avocado and peanut butter. Like, go get yourself some dark chocolate, love. Did you ever have a small period or anything like that while trying to get your period back? Yes. So I think twice throughout that year where I didn't have my period, I had like a tiny remnants of like periodness in my underwear. Sorry if that grosses anyone out, but if you've got this far in the video, I'm sure you're past that. And it was like that dark, like browny colour, but it was literally for like an hour, something small, and then gone, didn't see it again. But it did get my hopes up, and I both of those times I was like, Mum, I've got my period back, but I hadn't got my period back properly. And I don't know why that happens, to be honest with you, but yes, that did happen. Next question was, how was your bloating in the process of getting your period back? So at first I was like loving it. I was like, oh, I'm eating more food. I love food. And then my clothes started to get a bit tight and I felt a bit bloated because I was eating sometimes when I didn't want to eat. Like first thing in the morning, I didn't want a banana on toast before I went to the gym. I didn't want it, but I was eating it because I knew that it was the right thing to do at the time. For me, anyway, for me. So yeah, I guess I did experience a bit of uncomfortableness, a bit of bloating, my trousers feeling tight. I would go to work in my jeans and wear a baggy jumper on purpose just so I could sit with my jeans undone. And now I've just bought bigger jeans and that is fine because I've got my blooming period back. How many months did you see Renee for, and then how many months after seeing her did it take you to get your period back? I think I mentioned this earlier on in the video, but it literally took like 4 weeks. Don't get me wrong, everyone is different, like so different, but that was my experience. So someone asked, how and when did you realise that you'd actually lost your period? So, because I've always been irregular, that was so difficult, because like after a month of not getting my period at first, when I lost it in the January, in the February, didn't have my period, I was like, oh, that's fine, I'll get it in like 2 weeks, it's just another irregular period. And then 2 months went past, and I was like, oh, it's fine, it'll be like that other time that I went 3 months without a period. And then by like the 6 months, by like the sixth month mark, blimmin' 10 pregnancy tests later, even though I knew I was absolutely not pregnant, I thought I was Mary giving birth to baby Jesus. I was like, hun, you're not getting your period back, and you know, you're not getting your period anytime soon. So I guess that was when I realised, maybe like 6 months in. Was I under eating? I didn't think I was, and I'm sure that you guys who have followed me on Instagram for a while probably didn't think that I was under eating either, to be honest. But clearly for the energy expenditure that I was doing, I absolutely was under eating. But because I've always had quite a small frame, like I've always been quite small, and like I said, this is the biggest I've ever been. Not saying I'm big, but that, like, I can't think of any other words to use. So for me, I didn't think I was under eating, so like just having someone else look at that was really helpful. But again, it was about when I was eating, not just what I was eating, but it was both. So someone asked about like my hunger levels. So one thing I noticed was when I didn't have my period, my hunger levels were all over the place. So you have hormones called greptin and you have hormones called leptin and ghrelin, and basically one of them is your hunger hormone, I'm pretty sure it's ghrelin, and the leptin is your hormone that tells you that you're full, you're not hungry anymore. Basically, because my hormones were like all over the shop when I didn't have my period, I realised that I didn't really get hunger cues anymore. It was really confusing. But one thing I have noticed now I've got my period back is I know when I'm hungry and I sort of kind of know when I'm full. One thing now that I know that I've got my period back is when I'm due on, well, I remember this from before, but all I want is like 10 cookies and hugs and a water bottle. Oh, briefly, just quickly as well, when I wasn't having my period that whole year, I still sort of felt like I was going through the motions of being due on, like being a bit cranky in the month, being a bit like craving some food but not actually getting the period. Just thought I'd put that in there just in case any of you are experiencing that as well. That also happened to me. People have asked, because you're vegan, is that why you lost your period? I'm not vegan. I don't label myself. I don't think I'm vegetarian, pescatarian, nothing. But I don't eat meat, I don't eat milk, I don't eat eggs. But the thing is, my periods have always been irregular regardless of how I eat or how I don't eat or whatever. So I personally don't think it's got anything to do with that. Do you take the pill? Has the pill helped you to get your period back? This is just my opinion, but personally I don't think taking the pill can get your period back. Like, that's not natural period. That is a fake, that is a bleed. That pill gives you a bleed. I don't want to bleed, I want a period bleed. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Great if that's what you want, like, fine, but I wanted my body to do it itself. I didn't want a drug, like a pill, to tell my body to bleed. I wanted my hormones to be able to do that themselves. So no, I've never been on the pill. I wasn't on the pill. When did you decide you needed help instead of trying to do it on your own? When, I'm sure if you guys have been through this, you can relate, but like, you read so much and like everyone's telling you different things and it gets to the point and I'm just like, look, I'm trying to do this on my own, but everyone else got their own opinion, so I'm basically not doing it on my own. And then after Victoria tagged Renee in one of my posts, I was just like, this is meant to be. This is absolutely meant to be. And if you're watching this video and you need help and you think you can invest in it, invest in your health, then this is me. This is your like ding moment to go and reach out for some help if there's something that you want to do. Since you got your period back, have you missed any or has it been normal? So I was quite shocked, but like I said, like they've actually started to regulate, which is madness. You know, not gonna lie, I'm slightly annoyed at myself because I was having a period every other month for the past like 4 years, or well ish, like it's been all irregular, but I was sort of like a bit sassy to my friends. I was like, I don't get as many periods as you, haha. But now that's me. But at least they're regular again, or getting regular, which is mad. I didn't actually think that would happen. I just thought I'd get my period back and they'd be irregular again because I thought irregular was my normal. Apparently not. What was your first symptoms you started before getting your period back? Number 1 was spots around the chin area. Number 2, extremely tired. So sleepy. Number 3, I don't actually remember if I had cravings for food or not because I was eating loads. Well, I was eating more at the time to try and get my period back, so I can't really remember, but definitely sleepy and spots. And on the day, I had like really bad tummy cramps and they were so painful, but it's fine. Someone asked, is my period different from before? So like when I used to have it and then I lost it and then now. No, I'm on for about 5-6 days, same as before. I have the same cravings, I want cookies, I get tired, I get grumpy, things annoy me. And the first day that I get it, I always get it in the afternoon, about 1-2 o'clock. And that evening, I always have a rubbish sleep because my stomach's killing. And then after that evening sleep, no pains. That's just how it's been all my life. And that's how it is now. Okay, so someone asked, did I eat the same things every day when I was trying to get it back? And did I have to eat even when I wasn't hungry? So at first, I didn't have to eat even when I wasn't hungry because I was loving it. I was like, yeah, give me all the more food. Someone's telling me to eat more, let's do it. And then it gets to a point where I was eating, I guess, when I wasn't that hungry because like I said, you wake up in the morning and I just wanted to go. But I knew why I was doing it. And then did I eat the same things every day? No. For pre-workout and breakfast, probably yeah. It would be banana on toast, 1 slice of toast, some banana. And then post-workout, it would be like 70 grams of oats, maybe more, a banana, blueberries and peanut butter and some protein powder. That was something that I probably did eat every day. But other than that, everything else would probably change. Oh, and I'd always have like some dark chocolate after my lunch. What was it like working with Renee McGregor? Amazing. Such a lovely lady, so understanding, so knowledgeable. Basically what we did, we had a phone call, see if she could help. I paid online and then we had a Skype consultation and then I did a food diary and an exercise diary journal thing, gave it back to her. And we had another face-to-face conversation and she gave me a diet intervention, basically giving me all the information that I needed to try and get my period back. Right, I've still got quite a lot of questions, like loads of questions to answer. Like I said, if you've got any more, leave them down there. I'm going to answer one more question and then we're going to wrap the video up. I hope that I've covered everything. So the final question is, are you still keeping up with your calories and carb intake to get your period back? I'm not as conscious anymore on like I don't really think about the calories too much. That's for another video. And then the carbs, yes, that is something that I've absolutely stuck with and I've definitely changed with. I sometimes would just have like, say I just have a salad for lunch maybe after like a run, because after a run I'm not that hungry. I just have a salad after it. But now I know I need, okay, you might just fancy your salad because you're not always hungry after a run, but you do need some carbs in there, hun. You need some protein. You need, you need to replenish all those things that you've just used up after that run. Don't put your body under too much more stress. Fuel yourself. I definitely really think now about what I'm putting on my plate, what I'm putting into my meals. Still, literally, I still have so many questions left and I feel awful that I can't answer them all. If you guys want, I can always film another video, just like literally just a period Q&A. Oh gosh, okay. Thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I have no idea how long it's going to be. I hope some of you can relate to that and like build off that and not feel so alone. If you have any questions, like I said, let me know. Make sure you subscribe, share this video please with anybody who you think needs it, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!